Sir, step off the aircraft now.
On what grounds?
You were told to leave. My seat
Please
is still
keep moving.
open.
Read the ticket.
This is not a debate.
Then state the reason. Your shoe is on my boarding pass. Then stop reaching for it. Seat 2A is mine.
Not anymore.
Who changed it? Operational decision.
Show me the record.
You are becoming difficult. Read the federal contract number.
Federal? That folder? He is delaying us. Read the authorization line.
Decision is yours. Close the door. He refuses crew instructions.
I asked for written policy.
He is escalating. Remove him now.
Everyone lower your voices.
My voice is already low.
He never raised his voice.
Stop.
This is over. No.
You are off the flight.
The record remains.
What record?
Every version. You have no authority here. You should verify
Close the door.
Not yet.
Who are you calling?
End the call.
End the call.
Integrity Command, authenticate read.
Read who?
Initiate integrity review.
What review?
Military contracts?
37 contracts? What did you do?
Close the door! I made one call. 74.
Stop this!
Who are you? 84 task orders suspenders.
Sir, step off the aircraft now. The senior attendant pointed toward the jet bridge, while two security officers waited beside Marcus Reed's open first-class seat. His boarding pass lay on the carpet, crushed beneath a polished shoe. Why had a quiet black traveler been declared a threat for asking them to honor the ticket they sold him? Why did the supervisor laugh when he mentioned a federal contract number? Marcus looked at the empty seat, then at the brass compass in his palm. He made one call and spoke 11 calm words. Before the cabin door closed, 184 military contracts began disappearing, but the call was only the beginning. Stay to see what the airline had been hiding. The contract screen chimed once. Richard Voss glanced down. A red bar appeared beside the first agreement, then a second, then 12 more. "What did you do?" he asked. Marcus Reed stood beyond the aircraft door, his navy overcoat over one arm. The brass compass lay open in his palm, its needle trembling beneath the jet bridge lights. "I made a call. That is not an answer. It is the only one you need right now." Behind Richard, Lauren Vale lifted the cabin phone. "Close the door," she told Evan Rourke. "We are already 9 minutes late." Evan reached for the panel. Another chime sounded. The red list rolled down Richard's tablet. 37, he whispered. A passenger in the front row raised his phone. No one stopped him. Daniel Soto, the airport security shift manager, remained beside Marcus without touching him. Cold air moved through the bridge, carrying the smell of de-icing fluid. Below them, a baggage cart beeped in reverse. Richard stepped closer. "Contracts cannot be suspended by a passenger complaint." Marcus closed the compass. "No," he said, "they cannot." Lauren looked at the weathered folio under his arm, then at the crushed boarding pass near Evan's shoe. Evan moved his foot, but the black mark across seat 2A remained. "Sir," Evan said, "perhaps we should restart this conversation. You already wrote your version. That report is preliminary. You called it final when you asked me to sign." The tablet chimed again. 74. The man seated in 2A removed his headphones. "Richard, stay seated." Marcus looked through the doorway. The cream leather seat was visible past Lauren's shoulder. A stranger's briefcase occupied the space beneath it. Daniel turned to Evan. "Do not close that door. You do not control this aircraft. I control airport evidence, gate cameras, corridor audio, access logs. Nothing gets overwritten." Evan's hand stopped above the panel. Lauren lowered the phone. "This is becoming unnecessary." Thomas Avery, filming from the aisle, answered her. "It became necessary when none of us spoke." Several people looked away. Richard swiped through his messages. Every line carried the same words. Integrity hold. 112. Who are you? Marcus put away the compass, bent, and picked up his boarding pass. The paper crackled as he flattened it against the folio. You had 3 chances to ask that without assuming the answer. A radio snapped at Daniel's belt. "Operations to Soto. Federal Transport Liaison is online too. They request immediate contact with the removed passenger. The bridge went still except for the aircraft's low vibration. Richard stared at Marcus. Federal Transport? Marcus said nothing. The count reached 184. Lauren gripped the nearest seat. Evan's badge tapped once against his thigh, then stopped. Runway lights blurred against the December glass. Keep the door open, Daniel said. Richard lowered the tablet. What happens now? Marcus studied the compass-shaped imprint in his palm. That depends on what your records say happened here. 6 hours earlier, before the warnings and the silence, Marcus stood alone in his kitchen at 5:42 a.m., moving a framed photograph 2 inches closer to its edge. At 5:42 a.m., Marcus moved the framed photograph 2 inches closer to the edge of the kitchen table. Elena was laughing in the picture, one hand raised against mountain wind, the brass compass at her throat. A pale ring of dust marked where the frame had stood. His phone vibrated. You are awake, Naomi said. I said I would be. You also said that last week, then joined a briefing at sunrise. Marcus turned the cup handle toward his right hand. Today is different. The scholarship ceremony starts at 4. They moved the family seats closer to the stage. I'll be there before 3. You could take the military flight. No. Dad. I promised your mother I would stop treating every room like a command post. Naomi's breath softened into static. She also made you promise not to miss important days. He looked toward Elena's chair. The cushion still dipped at the center. That is why I booked the first flight. Sleet ticked against the window. The refrigerator stopped, leaving the hallway clock to count each second. They printed her name on the first certificate, Naomi said. I want you to see it in person. You will. Your chair will be beside mine. I understand. After the call, Marcus rinsed his cup before the water warmed and folded the towel into thirds. The leather folio waited beside his passport. Inside were remarks he had rewritten 6 times and a sealed envelope for Naomi. He opened the hall closet. His dress uniform hung beneath a clear cover, ribbons catching the weak dawn. A military aircraft could have crossed the distance without a boarding line or a stranger deciding whether he belonged. Marcus reached past it for his navy overcoat. The compass slipped from his fingers and struck the floor. Its lid opened, revealing Elena's uneven inscription. Find your way home. He crouched, but did not touch it at once. At 6:03, headlights swept across the windows. Colonel Dana Brooks stood outside in a charcoal coat, sleet melting on her hat. You did not request a car, she said. I requested no car. So I brought one without permission. An efficient violation of orders. That is why you keep me. She noticed the folio and civilian clothes. You are truly flying commercial. Yes. Sir, weather is moving over the Potomac. There is no connection. And if the carrier delays? I left enough margin. Dana glanced toward the closet. You have secure transport available. Not for a personal promise. The Transportation Review Board meets tomorrow. Voss's company knows renewal decisions are close. Marcus put on one glove, then the other. Today, I am not reviewing anyone. People may still be reviewing you. He met her eyes. Donna looked away first. At least let the driver take you. Only to the terminal. Marcus locked the door and tested the handle twice. Outside, sleet needled the skin above his collar. He looked back at the kitchen window. The photograph was gone from view. Only dawn reflected in the glass. On the back seat, his phone lit with Naomi's message. One empty chair. Don't make me explain it. Marcus laid the compass over the screen until the words disappeared. At 6:18, the sedan pulled away, leaving the untouched uniform behind. At 6:47 a.m., the sedan stopped beneath the terminal canopy. Marcus opened his own door before the driver could circle around. Sleet slipped under his collar, and the brass compass clicked against the leather folio beneath his arm. Donna stepped out behind him. "I can still walk you to security. You can still return to headquarters." "You say that as if I listen." Inside, the terminal smelled of coffee, wet wool, and floor polish. Marcus joined the regular check-in line while Dana remained 10 paces back. At the counter, the agent scanned his civilian passport. "Destination?" "Colorado Springs." She printed the pass. "Seat 2A. Boarding begins at 7:20. Marcus checked the name and flight number before folding the paper once. "Thank you." At the next station, Evan Rourke, 36, watched him leave. His silver badge struck his thigh whenever he moved. "First class?" Evan asked. "Yes." "Full cabin?" "One upgrade request." Evan looked toward Richard Voss, who stood near the priority lane speaking into 2 phones. Richard's guest waited beside him in a camel coat without a boarding pass. "Move 2A," Evan said. The agent frowned. "It is ticketed." "Operational reassignment." "The aircraft has not changed." His badge tapped again. "Do you want me to explain this in front of passengers?" She lowered her voice. "He already checked in." "Then change it before he boards." Across the hall, Dana handed Marcus a paper cup. "You hate airport coffee," he said. "You hate being fussed over." "Both can be true." She glanced toward the counter. "The supervisor keeps looking at you." "He is looking at a problem he has not created yet." His phone rang. Naomi's name appeared. "I am at the gate," Marcus said. "You sound far away." "The terminal is loud." "Jordan's mother brought white roses. I told her Mom hated white roses." "Elena said they looked apologetic." Naomi laughed once, then stopped. "Dad, please do not miss this." "I won't." A boarding announcement swallowed her reply. Dana's secure phone began to buzz. "I have to take this," she said. "Text when you land." "I will." She hesitated. "Keep the folio with you." He lifted it. "It has never left my hand." At gate 14, Maya Ellis stood behind the podium checking the seat map. She was 27, with a braid wrapped at her neck and a habit of pressing her thumbnail against the screen when something bothered her. Seat 2. A flashed yellow. "What changed?" she asked. Evan appeared beside her. "Move read to 31E. "He has a confirmed premium ticket." "Not anymore." "The replacement pass hasn't printed." "Then don't scan him." Marcus opened the brass compass, watched the needle settle, and closed it. An older man in a brown corduroy jacket stopped nearby, a canvas book bag over one shoulder. "Thomas Avery," he said. "Retired teacher. I'm in 3C. "Marcus Reed. They asked me for my pass once." "Perhaps they're being thorough." Thomas watched Lauren wave forward 2 later passengers, then Richard Voss's guest in the camel coat. "Thorough usually includes everyone." At the podium, Maya lowered her voice. "That man has no scanned assignment." "He will," Evan replied. "You're holding 2A for him." Evan's badge tapped his thigh. "You are holding up boarding." Thomas saw the camel coat vanish down the jet bridge. "Was that your seat?" "It remains the number on my ticket." "Then why are you standing here?" "That is the question." At 7:31, Lauren turned back with a practiced smile. "Sir, are you traveling alone?" "Yes." "And you understand this is the first-class group?" Marcus held out the pass. "You have asked twice whether I belong here. You have not asked anyone else." A nearby conversation stopped. "I'm trying to prevent embarrassment," Lauren said. "For whom?" Lauren scanned the barcode. The reader flashed red with a sharp double beep. There, your assignment changed. By whom? Operations. On what basis? You'll receive details on board. Evan covered the audit panel. We need to depart. Print the change, Marcus said. We can do that later. Print it now. Thomas moved closer. He's asking for a receipt. Evan pointed toward the bridge. Sir, board. I will, when he does. The line bent around Marcus like water around stone. Some passengers stared at their phones. One woman turned away. No one spoke. Maya clicked the audit icon before Evan could stop her. Seat 2A is still open in the cabin system. Lauren's smile disappeared. The printer began to whir. Evan tore off the page, folded it before Marcus could read it, and placed it beneath the counter. Board now, Mr. Reed, or you won't board at all. Marcus took back his original pass. Then I will board with the document you issued. Lauren stepped aside. The jet bridge was colder than the terminal, its metal floor humming beneath his shoes. Thomas followed 3 paces behind. Through the open aircraft door, seat 2A was visible under warm cabin light. Its belt lay crossed over the cushion. For the moment, it was still empty. Lauren met Marcus at the aircraft door before he reached the second row. Mr. Reed, we reassigned you. To which seat? 31E. Marcus looked past her. Seat 2A remained open. The crossed belt had not moved. My pass says 2A. That document is outdated. Show me the one that replaced it. Evan entered behind him, carrying the folded printout from the gate. The aisle smelled of coffee, warm fabric, and citrus cleaner. We have operational needs, he said. What changed? A seating requirement. For whom? That is private. A man in a camel coat stepped around Marcus and placed a black briefcase beneath 2A. Lauren touched the headrest as if that settled ownership. Your new seat is near the rear service area, she said. You'll reach the same destination. That is not the service I purchased. Passengers paused beneath open bins. Thomas stood beside 3C. He was here first, Thomas said. Lauren turned. Please take your seat. I will when he does. Maya remained near the galley, her thumbnail pressed against her tablet. 31E is a middle seat, she said. It belonged to another passenger 10 minutes ago. Evan faced her. That passenger accepted a voucher. There is no voucher in the system. Then the system is behind. Marcus held the folio against his ribs. Give me the written reason for the reassignment and the policy authorizing it. We are not debating procedure. I asked for a document. The ventilation hissed above them. A spoon struck the galley floor with a metallic ring. Lauren stepped closer. You are delaying departure. I have stood where your staff directed me since 7:22. Your tone is becoming confrontational. Marcus's voice remained level. Which word was confrontational? No one answered. The man in the camel coat sat in 2A and looked toward the window. His briefcase filled the space beneath the seat. Maya's tablet chimed. The change was entered after boarding began. Enough, Evan said. Thomas raised his phone. Lauren noticed. Recording crew members is not permitted. I'm recording a passenger asking for paperwork. You may be removed too. His thumb hovered, but he kept filming. Marcus opened the brass compass. Its needle trembled with the aircraft's vibration. Elena's inscription caught the light. Move to 31E now, or leave the plane, Evan said. Are those my only options? Yes. Then put that in writing. Evan unfolded the printout, wrote across the bottom, and handed it over. Marcus read the new line twice. Passenger refused voluntary reseating and displayed escalating non-compliance. This is false. It is the record. Maya drew a breath. Lauren looked toward the door. Marcus folded the page and slid it into the folio. I will not sign it. Then we have a refusal. No, you have my statement. Evan's badge struck his thigh once. Daniel Soto appeared in the doorway with 2 airport security officers behind him. Which passenger is causing the disturbance? Lauren pointed at Marcus before anyone else could speak. Thomas lowered his phone enough to look over it. Maya's tablet remained lit. Around them, first-class passengers went still. Marcus closed the compass. Every face turned toward him. Daniel Soto looked from Lauren's raised hand to Marcus. Sir, step into the jet bridge. Am I being removed? I need to separate the parties. There is only one party being asked to move. Daniel, 39, touched 2 fingers to his radio. Please come with me. Thomas kept his phone raised. He never threatened anyone. Lauren turned. Sit down, sir. I taught high school for 38 years. I know what disruption sounds like. Maya stepped from the galley. The seat change happened after boarding started. Evan snapped, Return to your position. I am at my position. Daniel asked, Did you witness aggressive behavior? Maya pressed her thumbnail into the tablet. I witnessed questions. Lauren folded her arms. He refused crew instructions. Marcus handed Daniel the rewritten notice. Warm air moved over the page, carrying scorched coffee. Did he sign this? No, Evan said. That is part of the problem. Not signing a statement is not a disturbance. Evan's badge struck his thigh. Remove him so we can depart. Mr. Reed, Daniel said, walk with me. I will hear you outside. If I leave, will my seat be restored after you review the facts? Daniel did not answer. Marcus lifted his coat and moved toward the door. Thomas stepped forward. I'm coming too. No, stay seated. They're counting on that. Then keep recording. Thomas's phone trembled once before he steadied it. At the doorway, Maya whispered, I saved the original map. Lauren heard her. Delete it. It is already stored. Evan moved toward Maya, but Daniel raised a hand. No one deletes anything. Cold air struck Marcus in the jet bridge. The metal floor vibrated beneath his shoes. Below, a baggage cart reversed with a slow electronic beep. 2 officers waited near the wall. Neither touched him. Daniel pulled the aircraft door closed. What happened? Marcus described the reassignment, the false statement, and his request for written policy. He used no adjectives. Evan pushed through the door. We are done discussing this. We just started, Daniel said. The passenger is off. Close the flight. Marcus opened the folio and removed a cream document bearing the seal of the Joint Strategic Transportation Command. I request preservation of every camera angle, seat audit, radio transmission, and version of the incident report. Evan glanced at the seal and laughed. You printed something official-looking, so now we freeze an airport? Marcus placed the document on a narrow shelf. Read the authorization line. I do not take orders from passengers. Daniel picked it up instead. Evan, who changed the report? No one changed anything. The timestamp says it was edited 3 minutes after security was called. Lauren spoke through the doorway. Daniel, we need to leave. He turned. Who described him as verbally aggressive? I did. What exactly did he say? Lauren opened her mouth. Nothing came out. From inside the cabin, Thomas said, I have every word. Daniel pointed toward the service corridor. This room, now. Marcus closed the folio and followed without protest. Behind them, Lauren ordered the aircraft door shut. As the latch engaged, Maya's screenshot finished uploading. The service room door closed. Daniel pointed to the metal chair. Sit if you want. Marcus tested it. One leg rocked, so he remained standing. Evan dropped a clipboard on the table. Sign this, and we end it. Marcus read the heading. Voluntary resolution and release. I was removed against my will. You refused instructions. I asked for the policy. You were given options. Neither honored my ticket. A fluorescent tube buzzed. Cold air leaked from a vent, carrying dust and burnt coffee. Daniel unfolded the document. Joint Strategic Transportation Command. Evan leaned back. Anyone can print a seal. The authorization code is active, Daniel said. That does not make him Airport Command. Marcus placed a second page beside it. It requires preservation of records involving federal carriers. Are you threatening the airline? No, I am telling you what must not be deleted. Daniel lifted his radio. Control, lock footage for Gate 14, Jet Bridge 14, and Corridor C from 7:15 onward. Static crackled. You have no cause, Evan said. I have conflicting statements and a preservation notice. You have a passenger playing official. Marcus glanced at the clipboard. Write that into your report. Evan's fingers stopped over the pen. The chair leg clicked under Daniel's shoe. Lauren entered. They are holding the door. Good. Tell me the exact words he used that were aggressive. He challenged crew authority. Exact words. He kept asking questions. Daniel waited. His manner was disruptive, Lauren said. Marcus turned the compass. Which question? She looked at Evan. Daniel switched on his body recorder. A red light appeared. Who ordered the seat change? Operations, Evan said. Name? It came through management. Name. Lauren stared at the floor. A knock sounded. Maya stood outside with her tablet. Evan blocked the doorway. She is on duty. Daniel let her in. Her braid had loosened. I saved the original manifest and audit trail. You were told to delete it, Lauren said. I was told to delete a company record during an active incident. Evan's badge struck his thigh. You misunderstood. No. Maya placed the tablet down. Seat 2A was confirmed for Marcus Reed at 6:49. The reassignment was entered at 7:18 from your login. Daniel enlarged the screen. And the replacement passenger? No ticket number. Manual courtesy entry. Lauren's face changed first. Evan reached for the tablet. Daniel pulled it away. Do not touch the evidence. This is internal data. Now it is preserved data. Marcus slid the unsigned release across the table. Add that timeline. Evan did not take it. A radio voice broke through. Soto, aircraft requests clearance to close. Corporate says remove the hold. Daniel looked at Marcus. Do you object to departure? Marcus's thumb rested on Elena's inscription. I object to losing the record. Daniel raised the radio. Hold remains until evidence is secured. Lauren's phone vibrated. She read the message, then turned it face down. Marcus saw the sender. R. Voss. What did he say? Daniel asked. Her fingers tightened. The flight leaves now. The hallway latch clicked. Someone was coming in. Richard Voss entered without knocking, a tablet held against his chest. Release the aircraft. Daniel did not move. We are preserving evidence. On whose authority? Marcus stood beside the unsteady chair, one hand on the leather folio. Richard glanced at him. The passenger is no longer traveling. The issue is closed. My ticket was canceled? Marcus asked. You were removed for non-compliance. Based on which statement? Richard looked at Evan. Evan looked at the clipboard. Beyond the wall, the engines deepened, sending a low vibration through the table. Daniel raised Maya's tablet. Seat 2A was reassigned manually. The report was edited after security was called. Internal corrections happen. Then they can be reviewed. There will be no review here. Marcus opened the compass. Its needle shook. Richard noticed the sealed document. "What is that?" "A preservation order," Daniel said. Richard laughed once. "From him?" Marcus closed the lid. "Read it. I do not validate every paper a difficult passenger produces." Maya drew a sharp breath. Lauren stayed near the wall, arms folded tightly. Daniel keyed his radio. "Control. Confirm video lock." Static answered. "Gate 14 footage secured. Jet bridge audio pending." Richard stepped forward. "Cancel that." "No. I am Vice President for Government Contracts. And I am responsible for this terminal." The chair clicked as Marcus sat. Metal pressed through his trousers. One short leg rocked, so he steadied it with his shoe. His phone read 8:06 a.m. Naomi's last message remained on the screen. He called. The line rang twice, then went to voicemail. "Naomi, I may be late. Do not delay anything for me. Put your mother's name where everyone can see it." Through the wall came the muffled clunk of the aircraft door sealing. "I am sorry." The battery warning flashed red. Richard stared at him. "You delayed a flight for a family ceremony?" Marcus ended the message. "Your staff delayed it by falsifying a record." The radio crackled. "Soto, aircraft departing under corporate authorization." Daniel moved toward the door. Richard blocked him. "Let it go." "Step aside." The engines rose. A paper cup slid across the table and tipped, releasing the bitter smell of old coffee. Marcus watched the compass needle spin. By the time Daniel reached the corridor window, the aircraft had begun to push back. Maya came beside Marcus. "I'm sorry. You kept the record. I should have spoken sooner." "Yes." Her eyes dropped. Marcus's phone vibrated. A video from Naomi opened before the screen dimmed. On stage, a young man held the first scholarship certificate beneath Elena Reed's name. Naomi sat in the front row. The chair beside her was empty. Marcus raised one finger toward the image, but did not touch it. "Sir," Daniel said from the doorway, "the next flight lands after 5. Marcus tried Naomi again. His thumb hovered over the call icon. The screen went black. For several seconds, he held the dead phone as if warmth might return to it. Then he placed it face up beside the compass and folded the unsigned release into a narrow, exact square. Outside, the aircraft disappeared into the sleet. Inside the room, Richard's tablet chimed. Richard looked down at the tablet. A banner filled the screen. "File received. Contract Integrity Hotline." Maya's upload bar crawled across her phone, stalled at 98%, then moved again. "What did you send?" Evan asked. "The original seat map, audit trail, and incident notice." "You had no authority." "I had a record." The bar reached 100%. Daniel's radio crackled. "Soto, witness at Gate 14 has video." "That's Thomas Avery," Maya said. Richard's jaw tightened. "No one leaves with data." Daniel opened the door. "You are no longer directing evidence." Sleet struck the cold glass. The aircraft's lights had vanished into gray. Thomas waited by the window, his corduroy jacket damp. "I recorded from the first question to the removal," he said. "I also recorded what people did not say." Richard stepped out. "Delete it." Thomas raised the phone. "You should have asked before treating him like a threat." "I never said he was one." "You let everyone believe it." Marcus watched Thomas hand the device to Daniel. The video showed Lauren's pointed finger and Marcus standing with both hands visible. Daniel played the audio. "Which word was confrontational?" Marcus's recorded voice asked. Then came the answer. Ventilation, a spoon striking metal, passengers breathing, and no reply. Lauren pressed her lips together. Stop it, Evan said. Daniel did not. At 8:14, Colonel Donna Brooks called airport operations for the third time. She gripped an empty chair beneath white ceiling panels. I'm locating General Marcus Reed. His secure phone is offline. The operator searched the removal log. There is a Marcus Reed at Gate 14. Status? Removed for aggressive conduct. Donna's fingers slipped on the fabric. Read the birth date. The operator did. Preserve that record, Dana said. I'm coming now. Back in the corridor, Richard's tablet chimed. A warning appeared beside the carrier profile. Identity match under review. Richard looked at Marcus. What agency are you with? Marcus connected his dead phone to Maya's charging cable. A red battery symbol appeared. You dismiss the document without reading it. This can be resolved privately. Thomas gave a dry laugh. That's what people say when the room has witnesses. Lauren sat on the metal table. Her pearl bracelet clicked against it. Evan lowered his voice. The flight is gone. We can issue compensation. You changed a federal passenger record, Daniel said. Money does not erase timestamps. The phone brightened to 1%. A voicemail arrived from Naomi. Marcus did not open it. He called the number on the preservation notice. This is Marcus Reed. Confirm receipt of evidence package 14. A woman answered through the speaker. Received, sir. Video, original manifest, audit history, and witness identification are secure. Richard's face drained. Footsteps approached beyond the glass doors, fast and measured. Dana appeared at the far end of the corridor, gray coat open, military identification already in her hand. She saw Marcus and slowed. Richard followed her gaze. For the first time that morning, he stopped looking at Marcus's clothes and began watching how everyone else moved toward him. Donna reached the glass doors at 8:19 a.m. and raised her military identification. Colonel Dana Brooks, Joint Strategic Transportation Command. I need General Reed. Richard turned so fast his tablet struck the wall. General? Sir, we've been trying to reach you. My phone failed. Her eyes moved to the unsigned release, boarding pass, and compass. Are the records secured? Gate video, the manifest, and a witness recording, Daniel said. Jet bridge audio is pending. Make it immediate. Richard stepped forward. This is a misunderstanding. We had no indication of the passenger's status. Marcus looked at him. You had an indication of my ticket. Dana's secure phone vibrated. She handed it to Marcus. Procurement integrity is waiting. He walked to the window overlooking the empty gate. The runway beyond it was silver gray. This is Reed. A distant voice answered. General, do you confirm a credible integrity concern involving Halcyon Air's records? I confirm a falsified report, an unauthorized seat override, and attempted deletion of the audit trail. Do you request an emergency review? Marcus opened the compass. Its needle quivered with the building. Behind him, Richard whispered, We can correct this. Marcus spoke 11 calm words. Initiate emergency integrity review. Freeze all Halcyon military task orders now. The line went quiet. Confirmed. 184 active task orders entering suspension. Richard's tablet chimed. Red markers appeared beside routes, cargo schedules, and medical transports. The list rolled faster than he could read. No, Richard said. Those are separate divisions. They share one compliance certification, Dana said. This will strand units. The military has contingency carriers, Marcus replied. Your company knew that. Lauren stepped into the corridor. General Reed, I did not know who you were. Marcus closed the compass. That should not have been necessary. Her cracked pearl bracelet slid down her wrist. Evan moved toward the operations panel. I need to call corporate. Daniel blocked the door. After you surrender your access card. You cannot do that. I can secure a system under an evidence hold. Evan fumbled at the clip. For the first time, the badge did not strike his thigh. It dropped into Daniel's palm without a sound. Richard stared at the number on his screen. 184. General, give me 1 hour. We can restore your seat, arrange a private aircraft, whatever you need. Marcus looked toward the runway where his flight had disappeared. The ceremony already started. Richard's mouth closed. Dana lowered her voice. Naomi left another message. Marcus did not reach for the phone. He placed the crushed boarding pass on Richard's tablet, covering the red contracts. Preserve every complaint your company reclassified in the last 5 years. Every complaint? Richard asked. Every version. The operations phone began ringing behind the locked door. 1 line became 3, then 6. Donna opened the latest alert. Sir, the Inspector General has initiated a site review. At the far end of the corridor, elevator doors opened. A woman carrying a federal evidence case stepped out. The woman from the elevator set an evidence case on the table. Lena Ortiz, Office of Contractor Integrity, she said. She was 48, compact, with silver-streaked hair. No one touches a device until I inventory it. Richard raised his hands. We are cooperating. You tried to close the flight and erase the record. That is not accurate. Lena opened the case. Numbered bags and drives filled the foam. Then accuracy should be easy. The corridor smelled of wet coats. Sleet crossed the glass. Daniel bagged Evan's access card. Maya surrendered her tablet after Lena photographed its screen. Thomas offered his phone. Keep it, Lena said. You are a witness, not company property. Marcus laid down the crushed boarding pass, rewritten notice, and unsigned release. His military identification remained closed beside the compass. General, I need to verify identity, Lena said. After those are logged. Richard stared at the credential. This could have been resolved before the contracts were frozen. It could have been resolved when I presented a valid ticket. At 8:31, the elevator opened. Celeste Grant, 52, Chief Executive of Halcyon Air, crossed the corridor in a slate suit. General Reed, I am deeply sorry. Marcus said nothing. We arranged a private aircraft to Colorado Springs. The ceremony is underway. We can still get you there today. Today is not the same as on time. Her gaze shifted to Naomi's unopened voicemail. Could we speak privately? Celeste asked. No. This hallway is not suitable. It was suitable when your employees removed me through it. Thomas lowered his phone. Maya looked down. Celeste faced Lena. We will provide unrestricted access. Start with the original manifest, every edited report, and Mr. Voss's communications. Richard stiffened. Those contain privileged data. Privilege does not cover alteration. Lauren entered, her cracked pearl bracelet clicking against her wrist. I want to correct my statement. Evan snapped. Say nothing without counsel. She met his eyes. That advice arrived late. Marcus opened his folio. Beneath the preservation order lay the sealed envelope for Naomi. Celeste noticed it. Was that for your daughter? Yes. I have a daughter too. Marcus folded the flap under his thumb. Then you understand why a voucher is not the subject here. Phones rang behind the locked door. Celeste drew a breath. What do you want? Marcus opened his military identification, let Lena scan it, then closed it. I want this reviewed as if I had no rank, no command, and no contracts to freeze. Richard gave a dry laugh. That is impossible now. It was possible this morning. Marcus placed Maya's screenshot at the center of the table and Thomas's recording beside it. Do not investigate why your staff failed to recognize a general, he said. Investigate why they believed recognition was the price of dignity. Lena switched on her recorder. Formal review begins at 8:39 a.m. Who instructed the gate team to reserve seat 2A for an unticketed guest? Richard looked toward Celeste. She did not look back. Lauren's bracelet clicked once. Then Richard's tablet displayed a folder marked Prior Incidents, Reclassified. Lena tapped the folder marked Prior Incidents, Reclassified. Open it. Richard did not move. Celeste entered the executive code. Filter by involuntary seat changes, Lena said. Maya folded her arms against the cold. Try conduct adjustment. 43 files appeared. Lena opened the first. Calm but persistent had become verbally aggressive. In the next, questioned policy became challenged crew authority. A third replaced requested supervisor with created operational disruption. Across the pages, the same red sentences repeated. Thomas removed his glasses. How many people watched this? Enough, Marcus said. Lena faced Evan. Who approved this language? We standardized reports. Facts or outcomes? His fingers worried the empty badge clip. He looked at Richard. Celeste followed his gaze. Answer her. Outcomes. Lauren's cracked bracelet clicked against the table. We were told complaints hurt renewal scores. By whom? Mr. Voss? Richard stepped back. I told managers to reduce avoidable escalations. By changing records? Daniel asked. By resolving disputes before they became formal. Maya opened another file. This complaint was closed 11 minutes before the passenger submitted it. Lena connected an evidence drive. Restore every version. There could be thousands, Celeste said. Then we begin with thousands. Thomas read another report. A 72-year-old woman asked for her medication bag. They called her threatening. Lauren turned away. A red line crossed the screen. Passenger demeanor caused concern among nearby travelers. They used that phrase this morning, Maya said. Lena searched it. 117 results appeared. The printer woke with a cough. Warm pages smelling of toner slid into the tray, their margins crowded with identical red corrections. Celeste lifted the first stack. Richard, did you know? He stared at the frozen contract count. The annual military review penalizes unresolved incidents. That is not an answer, Marcus said. Richard's shoulders lowered. Yes. I told regional managers the number had to fall before December. I did not tell them which reports to alter. You created the number, Lena said. They created the facts required to reach it. Evan stared at the floor. Everyone knew what he meant. Lauren unclasped her bracelet. The cracked strand caught on her sleeve, and 3 pearls scattered across the table. No one picked them up. Daniel set Marcus's original notice beside the rewritten one. Same phrasing, same purpose. Lena sealed both. How long? Celeste asked. 3 years in this folder, Maya said. Maybe longer. Marcus opened Naomi's voicemail. Applause spilled from the speaker. Then her voice. They called Mom's name. I kept looking at your chair. He stopped the recording and placed the phone face down. This is no longer customer service, Lena said. What is it? A contractor integrity case involving systematic falsification. Richard looked at Marcus. If I resign, will you restore the agreements? Marcus slid one red-marked report toward him. This was never about your chair. At 9:12 a.m., Lena issued hearing notices to every executive and supervisor. The printer kept running. At 10:06 a.m., the hearing room doors closed. Miriam Shaw, 60, adjusted her square glasses over the evidence table. Recording is active. No private agreements. No off-the-record corrections. Richard sat beside counsel. Lauren held a paper cup, the cracked pearl bracelet gone from her wrist. Marcus sat opposite, the brass compass beside his closed identification. Miriam faced Richard. Did you order managers to reduce unresolved complaints before the military contract review? I told them to improve performance. Did you know reports were rewritten? Richard glanced at Celeste. Yes. Lena displayed two versions of Marcus's report. The first read, "Passenger requested written policy." The second called him non-compliant. Who approved the change? Evan swallowed. I did. Was Mr. Reed aggressive? No. Miriam turned to Lauren. You pointed at Mr. Reed when security arrived. What had he done? He asked questions. Anything else? Lauren rubbed the pale mark on her wrist. No. Then why identify him as the disturbance? Her cup creased. That was how we were trained to end a delay. Lena played Thomas's recording. Marcus's voice asked, which word was confrontational? The answer was ventilation, a dropped spoon, and silence. Miriam stopped the audio. Who taught you that silence could be reported as aggression? Lauren looked toward Richard. They said first class must remain smooth. We should know who belonged there before problems began. Richard leaned toward the microphone. That was never policy. Maya opened the archive training guide. A highlighted line read, Protect premium cabin perception through early intervention and discretionary reassignment. You approved this edition, she said. Richard stared at his signature. The panel recessed for 12 minutes. In the corridor, Richard approached Marcus. If the 184 agreements remain canceled, thousands of employees suffer. Marcus turned the compass beneath his thumb. Those employees did not alter the reports. Then punish me. This is risk control. You can stop it. You could have stopped this before I entered the aircraft. The doors reopened. Miriam read the findings. Richard had concealed complaints, pressured regional teams, and interfered with assignments for influential guests. His employment was terminated, and his conduct referred for federal review. Evan was removed from supervisory duty pending access proceedings. Lauren was suspended, though her cooperation would be considered. The 184 task orders will not be restored, Miriam said. Replacement carriers will assume essential routes. Richard's tablet was taken. Lauren placed a signed statement where her bracelet had once clicked. I am sorry, she said. Marcus met her eyes. Make it complete. She took the pen again and added 3 managers who had ordered earlier complaints reclassified. Miriam turned to Marcus. Do you request damages or a named corrective program? No. What do you request? He opened a folder containing 4 pages of safeguards. Rules that still work when the passenger has no title. Miriam accepted the pages. Outside, the printer started again, producing notices for every carrier seeking a military contract. At 7:15 next morning, Marcus returned to the hearing room with the safeguards under his arm. Miriam Shaw had marked 3 paragraphs in blue. Celeste Grant sat opposite her. Maya and Daniel stood near the wall, while Lauren waited by the door. Miriam tapped the first page. Independent review for every forced removal. Original records preserved automatically. Whistleblower protection. No reassignment for unticketed guests. And external audits, Marcus said. Celeste exhaled. Quarterly audits will cost millions. The altered reports already cost more. We can rebuild the system, then build one that cannot be corrected backward. A printer hummed behind Miriam. Celeste slid forward another agreement. We will dismiss those responsible, fund training, and restore confidence. In return, the task orders can be reinstated after 30 days. Marcus crossed out the reinstatement clause. You are asking for a second chance, she said. I am asking for a safe process. Those are not the same thing. Lauren shifted near the door. What happens to people like me? Your suspension remains, Miriam said. You may return after independent certification and 6 months without supervisory authority. Lauren nodded. Understood. Evan's case would go before an access board. Richard had been terminated and barred from contract decisions pending federal review. No one celebrated. Daniel placed an evidence bag on the table. Evan's silver badge lay inside. Airport operations adopted a rule this morning, he said. No supervisor can edit a report after security is called. Any change creates a visible second version. Maya added, crew members can send evidence outside the chain of command. Celeste studied her. Would you help design the training? Maya pressed her thumbnail against her folder. Only if the examples stay real. They will. At noon, representatives from 6 carriers joined by video. One objected that independent review would slow departures. Marcus turned the brass compass beneath his palm. A delayed door can reopen, he said. A false record follows a person for years. By 2:40, the final policy carried signatures from the Integrity Office, Airport Authority, and Military Procurement Board. It required evidence retention, written reasons for seat changes, protected reporting channels, and review of every removal before government contract renewal. Miriam pushed the last page toward Marcus. The board proposes naming this the Reed Standard. He drew one line through the title. Name it for the passenger who has no board. She wrote Passenger Dignity and Record Integrity Standard across the top. Outside, cameras waited beyond the glass doors. Marcus declined the podium. Celeste announced the cancellations, audit, and public release of findings. Her voice faltered when she admitted the company had trained employees to protect appearances instead of facts. Marcus stood behind the crowd with Naomi's unopened envelope in his folio. Maya came beside him. Will this be enough? No. She looked up. It has to be used. Across the lobby, workers mounted a notice beside every gate. Original records cannot be erased. The paper curled at one corner. Daniel pressed it flat with his palm. 6 months later, Marcus arrived at the Memorial Hall 40 minutes early. The winter light had softened into gold across the glass doors. He removed his navy overcoat, folded it over one arm, and checked the brass compass before placing it in his pocket. Naomi was already near the stage, adjusting the first scholarship certificate beneath Elena Reed's name. You came early, she said. I learned the cost of arriving late. She touched his sleeve. Your chair is beside mine. This time, it was not empty. The first recipient, 19-year-old Jordan Ellis, crossed the stage with shaking hands. Maya stood near the aisle in a dark training uniform, no longer assigned to cabin service. After the investigation, she had accepted a position teaching evidence preservation and passenger dignity to new crews. Her first lesson always began with an unedited seat map. Thomas sat in the second row. On his lap rested a letter from Marcus, thanking him for refusing to look away. Daniel, promoted to Regional Evidence Supervisor, had helped install automatic record locks across the airport. Any report changed after a removal now displayed both versions, the name of the editor, and the exact time. At gate 14, the old counter had been replaced. A small screen now required supervisors to select a written reason before changing any paid seat, and the system sent the passenger a copy instantly. Maya had tested it herself before the first public audit. The airline's public findings had filled 73 pages. Richard Voss remained barred from government contract work while the federal review continued. Evan lost supervisory access and was reassigned outside passenger operations after completing compliance training. Lauren returned only as a non-supervisory employee. She had written personally to 12 passengers whose reports she helped alter. Some answered. Most did not. Celeste Grant kept her position under independent oversight. Every government carrier now faced quarterly audits, protected reporting channels, and mandatory review of forced removals. The 184 canceled contracts had been redistributed. None returned automatically. After the ceremony, Maya approached Marcus beside the display case. "People still complain about the new forms," she said. "Good." She blinked. "It means they have to leave a record." Naomi opened the small glass door. Inside was Elena's photograph and an empty brass stand. Marcus removed the compass. The metal was warm from his hand, its scratched lid dull under the gallery lights. For months he had carried it through hearings, airports, and rooms where people finally learned to listen. Now he set it on the stand beneath Elena's words, "Find your way home." Naomi closed the glass. "Do you miss carrying it?" she asked. Marcus watched the needle settle. "I miss who gave it to me." She rested her hand over his. Across the hall, Jordan's family took photographs beneath the scholarship banner. Thomas pretended not to wipe his glasses. Maya straightened one corner of the new passenger rights notice beside the exit. Marcus looked toward the two chairs in the front row. They stood side by side, both slightly turned toward the stage. The rules had changed. The missing day had not. Naomi squeezed his hand once. Behind the glass, the compass was still. Have you ever witnessed someone being dismissed, humiliated, or treated as though their voice did not matter? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one person chose to speak when everyone else stayed quiet. Send this story to someone who believes dignity should never depend on a title, uniform, ticket, or social status. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and the difficult work of changing systems instead of simply punishing individuals. And remember the witnesses in this story. Change began not only with Marcus's authority, but with a saved record, an honest statement, and one person refusing to look away.